Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's 6 o'clock, so we will start our class. Jazakumullah to everyone for arriving on time and waiting patiently. So today we will be learning about a new rule. Okay, it is another one of miscellaneous rules, and we will be specifically looking at miniature noon. Okay, but before we do that, I would just like to remind all the students and parents that the deadline to submit your recordings for the final concluding session is Sunday, 6 December. Okay, 9 p.m. It is written over here. So please try to, whatever your child, in whichever activity your child wants to participate, please record that and send it on this email, okay, or this WhatsApp number. But try to do that as soon as possible. Okay, so now before we start our lesson, we will go through the class etiquettes. Okay, just a moment. Okay. So just a reminder of the class etiquettes. I hope that everyone, all the students have performed wudu, and please make sure that you are wearing clean clothes, and also make sure that your head is covered with a scarf or a cap. I also hope that a parent is present with their child and that you are sitting in a quiet place. This is very important, especially if you are going to, especially if you want to have a go on the mic so that everyone else can hear you clearly. Okay, so now we will do the opening prayer. Can we have a student for that?
Yes, assalamu alaikum. Can I call G 11114, please?
G1114. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, so we are going to recite this prayer. Let's start with A'udhu Billah.
Okay, they just muted themselves. Okay.
Sorry, can you select someone else, please? Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, we'll select someone else. Okay, can I please call G1033, please? G1033.
G1033. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Okay, so we are going to recite this prayer. Let's start with Tawuz.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay. Rabbana taqabbal minna
taqabbal minna
innaka antas sami'
antas
sami'ul alim.
sami'ul alim.
Okay, and the translation?
O Lord, accept from us. You are all hearing, all knowledge.
All knowing. Okay.
All knowing. Yeah. Al-Baqarah 128.
Okay. Jazakallah G1033. So this prayer is from the Holy Quran. Okay, second chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 128. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, today we will be learning about a new rule. Okay, and the new rule is the rule of miniature noon, okay, a tiny noon. So what happens? Sometimes a small noon is written in between two words. Okay, when we are reading the Holy Quran, you might come across a small noon between two words. And the rule for that small noon is that it is only read, okay, it is only read in the pronunciation when we are reciting in continuation, okay, when we connect the two words, okay. But if we make a pause on the first word, okay, if we decide to stop at the first word, we will not pronounce the small noon, okay, it will be completely ignored. So you can just imagine that it's not there, okay. So hopefully when we practice some of these examples, it will become more clear. Okay, so let's have a student on the mic.
Okay. Can I call G1009, please?
G1009. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good too. Jazakallah for asking. Okay, so we're going to go through the first example. Okay, so first I'm going to read both of these words. Okay, there are two words in continuation. Okay, in wasl, I won't be stopping at the first word. Okay, and the rule that we are going to apply is that we are going to read this small noon. Okay, so let's start with A'udhu Billah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay. خير اطمأن
خير نطمئن.
Okay, very good, excellent. So because we were reading in continuation, okay, we connected both of the words. We recited, we pronounced this miniature noon. Okay, but let's say that while reciting the Holy Quran, we are out of breath and we decide to stop on the first word. Okay, so when we decide to stop on the first word, we are going to recite it as khair.
خير.
Very good,
Shall I
excellent.
read the whole thing?
Okay, you can do that once we are done. Okay, so now that we have decided to pause on the first word, okay, we applied the rule of pausing, the correct way to pause on this word. Okay, so we learned in one of the earlier lessons. Okay, let's go here. That when we have a word, okay, which ends with a letter that is carrying dhamma, it will change into sukoon. Okay, as you can see here, it has changed into sukoon. So that's exactly what we did. Okay, that is exactly what we did here. Okay, we have dhamma on top of the last letter, ra, and because we are pausing, we changed it into a sukoon and we said khair.
خير.
Very good. Okay, so once we have paused on this one and we continue from the next word, we will not be pronouncing the noon. Okay, so that is the rule. When we are connecting the two words, when we are not pausing, we pronounce the noon. When we are pausing, we don't pronounce the noon. Okay, so that is what we will do. So the second word, we will pronounce it as at'ma'an. Okay, sorry. It'ma'an.
اطمئن.
Very good. Okay, and I would just like to remind all the students, okay, we have an alif here, okay, blank alif, and we pronounced it as it, okay, because we know that when the first mutaharrik letter has a fatha, the alif will automatically have a kasra. Okay, this was covered in yesterday's lesson. Here we go. So this is for all the students. Okay, a reminder. If the second or third letter of a word bears a fatha or kasra, the blank alif will take a kasra. Okay, that is what we did here. The second letter, okay, is carrying a fatha, and that is why the alif will take a kasra. Okay, G1009, now you can say the whole thing.
خير 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 sorry خير ما أن.
Okay, very good. So that is the way, that is the correct way to recite this, okay, when we are reading in continuation. Okay, and how would you read it if we were to pause here?
خير ما أن.
Okay, very good. You did good on the first word, but remember what I said earlier. Okay, it's not going to be at'ma'anna. Okay, let's go back.
Is it knit?
No, it's not nit either. Okay. So, as I said earlier, it's not going to be nit. Okay, it is only going to be nit when we are reading the both words together without stopping in between. Okay, it is going to be it. Alif will have kasra. Okay, try.
خير أمنا أن sorry خير أطمأن.
Okay, itma'anna.
إطمأن.
Okay, so it is absolutely fine. Okay, it's understandable that you don't remember this rule yet. Okay, but just remind all the students. Okay, whenever we have a blank alif, we always check the next few letters. Okay, if the next letter is lam, we know
Okay.
straight away that the alif will take a fatha. Okay, when the next mutaharrik letter is carrying dhamma, we know straight away that the alif will also take a dhamma. Okay, and when the next mutaharrik letter has a fatha or a kasra, we will know that the alif will also take a kasra.
Okay.
All right, Jazakallah, G1009. Can we have the next student?
Yes. Can I call G1012, please?
Hello.
G1012, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
No. Apologies. Mute them. Okay, let's try again. G1012.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, G1012, are you understanding the lesson okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we are going to do the same thing. Okay, first we are going to practice how to read this in wasl, okay, in continuation without stopping. And then we are going to practice with stopping. Okay, we stop on the first word and then continue from the next word. Let's start with Davuz.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay. Fitnatun qalaba.
Fitnatun nin qalaba.
Very good. Excellent. So that was perfectly recited. Okay, that is how we will recite it. Okay, so because we didn't pause in between, we took this noon and we considered it in terms of pronunciation. Okay, we pronounced it when we were reciting. Okay, now we are going to stop here. Okay, we are going to pause. So the first word will become fitna.
Fitna.
Okay, very good. So just make sure that the sound of ha is very clear. Okay, because remember, when we have ta marbuta, a word that ends in ta marbuta, it will change into ha sakin. Okay, so
Okay.
that is what's happening here as well. This is ta marbuta, okay, and it will change into ha. So let's try again. Fitna.
Fitna.
Very good. Okay. Now next part of the word. Okay, first, let's see. We have a blank alif. Okay, so when we have a blank alif, what do? We look at the next few letters. Okay, so we look at the first letter, but it is sakin. Okay, and we are looking for a mutaharrik letter. So we move on to the next letter. Okay, next letter is a mutaharrik letter. It is carrying the harakat of fatha. Okay, harakat means stroke of fatha, and we covered yesterday that when we have a fatha, the alif always take kasra. Okay, so now let's recite this. انقلب.
In ko laba.
Very good. And G1012, if we were to pause on this word, do you know what would happen?
Yeah.
Okay, can you recite it? But pause.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Kolaba.
Okay, so that is how it will be pronounced if you were continuing. Okay, if we choose to pause on this word, it will become انقلب.
In kolaba.
Okay,
Kolaba.
okay, so the fatha will change into sukoon. Okay, when it changes into sukoon, it won't be ba, it will just be the sound of the letter ba, which is b. Okay, انقلب.
In kolab.
Very good, excellent. Okay, G1012, would you like to have a go by yourself?
Yes.
Okay,
Fitna. Nin kolab.
okay, so it was almost correct. You said, you paused on the first one, right? You said fitna. Okay, when we pause, this ta marbuta changed into ha sakin. When you do that, you don't have to pronounce this noon. Okay, only pronounce this if you're going to join the two words. Fitnatu nunqalaba. Like that.
Fitnatun kolab.
Okay, it's on top of ta, we have dhamma. Okay, so it is going to be tu, not tun. Okay, fitnatu ninqalaba.
Fitnatu nin kolaba.
Okay, very good. That was much better. Jazakallah, G1012. Okay, let's have one more student.
Lafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Lafiz.
Okay, can I please call G1042 to the mic, please?
G1042, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. G1042, your voice is really low. Can you come closer to your device? Okay, and maybe speak a little louder. Okay, let's start with Davos. Okay, your voice is still very low. So if you can just speak a little bit louder. Okay. So do you understand today's lesson okay? Okay. So just to remind all the students, the noon is only pronounced when we don't stop in between. Okay? So let's practice. سواء العاكف. Yes. Nil. Okay, now your voice is completely gone. And
G1042, do you want to try increasing the volume on your device? You can ask an adult for help. Put it to the highest one.
G1042, are you still there? Okay, I think it will be better if we choose someone else for in the meanwhile.
Okay. Let's try G1035.
G1035, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine too. And do you understand the lesson okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So let's start with A'udhu Billah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay. So first we are going to recite this in continuation, in wasl, okay, which just means that we won't be stopping in between. Okay. Sawa'anil akifu.
Sawa'anil akifu.
Excellent, well done. So we could make this part a bit longer. Okay. So do you know the name of this sign?
Maddur Saghir.
Okay. So it is Madul Kabir. Okay. The extra long stretch, the bigger one. Okay. And the rule for that is that we have to prolong for a minimum of 4 seconds and a maximum of 6 seconds. Okay. So now this time, okay. So this time what we'll do is we will stop in between. Okay. We will pause on the first word and we will apply the rule of pausing as well. Okay. So just to remind everyone, when we have the stroke of fatha on the last letter, it changes into sukoon. Okay. Sawa.
Sawa.
Excellent, well done. So we will have a little jerk, soft jerk at the end because of the hamza. Okay, because the hamza will be carrying a sukoon when we pause. Now let's try the second word. Okay, the start of the second word is alif, but it is blank alif. So when we have a blank alif, what do?
You put a crust on it.
Okay, very good. That is one of the rules. Okay, what we do first, we look at the next few letters. Okay, so we are looking for a mutaharrik letter. Okay, mutaharrik letter just means a letter which is carrying a vowel, fatha, kasra, or dhamma. Okay, so we look at the first letter, it is sakin. Okay, so we will move on to the next one. And this is a mutaharrik letter. Okay, it is carrying the vowel, the stroke of fatha. And that is how we know that alif will carry a kasra. So let's apply this rule now. Il-akifu.
Il-akifu.
Excellent. And G1035, if you were to pause on the second letter as well, what would happen? If you were to pause on the second word, what would happen to the last letter?
You would read as give.
Excellent. So basically, the Dhamma will change into Sukoon. Okay, so it will become Il-Akif.
Il-Akif.
Excellent. All right, Jazakallah, G1035, you recited really well.
Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, so that was the new lesson. And now we are going to go back to Surah Al-Humaza. Okay, so this surah, we practiced it in class on Wednesday as well. And it was the homework as well. So I hope that a lot of the students would have practiced this at home with your parents. Okay, so before I start taking students, okay, and we practice together, what I will do is recite the whole surah once, okay, and everyone should listen carefully, okay, and basically I will just demonstrate, okay, the correct way to pronounce, okay, the entire surah. However, I will do this very slowly, okay, because I want all the students to repeat after me. Okay, so when there is a pause, there is a gap, and you can't hear me, you should be repeating that same verse in that gap. Okay, all right then. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ويل لكل همزة لمزة. الذي جمع مالا وعدده. يحسب أن ماله أخلده. كلا لينبذن في الحطمة. وما أدراك ما الحطمة. نار الله الموقدة. التي تطلع على الأفئدة. إنها عليهم مؤصدة. في عمد ممددة. All right, so I hope that everyone was repeating after me. Okay, so now we will take students on the mic.
Okay, can I call G1021, please?
G1021, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam rahmatullah. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. I'm fine too. Jazakallah for asking. Okay, so we are going to go through a couple of verses. Okay, starting with A'udhu Billah.
Ausbillah Minashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, so you can just repeat after me. Okay, and then I will give you a chance to recite by yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Wailul likulli
Wailul likulli
humazatil lumazah
huma zahidiluma za.
Okay, very good, almost perfect. Just remember here, as I mentioned earlier, when we pause on a letter that ends with ta marbuta, it will change into ha sakin. Okay, so we just have to make sure that the sound of ha is very clear. Okay, humazatil lumazah.
Huma zadin diluhaza lemaza lumaza.
Okay, all right. So G1021, do you want to have a go by yourself now?
Okay. Wailulli li ka kali
Kulli
kulli hu maz za dil luma za
zah.
zah.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Jazakallah G1021. So I'd just like to remind everyone that first, okay, in this verse, the very first word, here we have an example of yamata. Okay, so we have to prolong this for 2 seconds. Wailul kulli.
Wailulli kulli.
Okay, very good. And you pronounced this idgham kamil really well. Okay, we are applying the rule of complete assimilation with no nasal sound here. Okay. Then we have another example of complete assimilation, and again we are not going to make any nasal sound. Okay. Humazatil lumazah.
Humazali til lumaza.
Okay, very good. Jazakallah G1021, you did really well. Okay. Allah Hafiz. Okay, let's have another student.
Apologies. Okay. Can I call to the mic G1018, please?
G1018, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So we're going to go through the next verse. Let's start with A'udhu Billah.
A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay. So first you can just repeat after me. Allazi jama'a ma.
Jama'alna.
Okay. Jama'ala. Okay. Jama'a malan wa
malangwa
addada.
atada.
Very good. G1018. So here right at the beginning of the verse, we have a blank alif. Okay. And it is followed by lam. So can you remember when a blank alif is followed by lam?
Yes.
What would the blank alif carry? Fatha, kasra, or dhamma?
Fatha.
Excellent. Well done. So it will carry a fatha. Okay. And that's what we did. Okay. And that is why we said allazi.
Al-Aziz.
Very good. And here we are prolonging for 2 seconds because of ya madda. Okay. Because we know that because the previous letter is carrying the sign of kasra. Okay. And here we are also prolonging for 2 seconds because of alif madda. Okay. And then here we have an example of idgham. G1018, do you know if we are applying here, are we applying complete assimilation, okay, with no nasal sound, or partial assimilation with 2-second nasal sound? Okay, so this is the correct way to recite it. Okay, I'll recite it. Listen carefully. Ma lawa.
Malawa.
Okay, very good. So I made a nasal sound, right? 2-second nasal sound. Okay, and that is because we are applying the partial assimilation rule. Okay, because whenever we have vaw mushaddad after noon sakin or tanween, we apply partial assimilation. Okay, and then at the end we have ha with inverted dhamma, which we changed into sukoon, and we said adda.
Artada.
Very good. And we know that, okay, because we learned in one of the previous lessons that when we have ha and we have inverted dhamma, okay, dhamma ishbaya on top, it will change into ha sakin. Okay, so that's what we did. G1018, would you like to have a go by yourself now?
Yes.
Okay.
Al-Lazi.
Make it longer.
Al-Lazi. Ja. Ma. Ha.
Okay, no.
Ha.
What is this letter? Do you know the name of this letter? Okay, it is not ha, it is ain. Okay,
Ain.
this is ha. Okay, this is ain. So try again.
Ja. Ma. Ha. Ma.
Okay, make this 2 seconds long.
Ja. Ma. Ha. Ma.
Yes. Yes, G1018, go on.
Mu.
Okay,
Maunwa. Munwa.
Okay, so this was ma. Okay, ma langwa.
Ma. Yangwa.
Okay, this is lam. Okay, langwa.
Lowa.
Adada.
Tada.
Okay. Jazakallah, G1018. Keep practicing. Okay, and inshallah with practice we will get better.
Rilakala.
Love is. Okay, can we have another student?
Yes, can I call G1050, please?
G1050. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. Okay, let's start with Tawuz.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, so first just repeat after me. Okay, and then you can have a go by yourself.
Okay.
Yahsabu
يحسب
anna
أن
malahu
ماله
akhladah.
أخلده.
Very good. Okay, so we have a noon gunna, a noon mushaddad here. So we have to do a 2-second nasal sound here. Okay, then we have an alif madda, alif of elongation. So we prolong this part for 2 seconds. Okay, and do you know what this sign is?
um,
Is this the medium long stretch or extra long stretch?
long,
Okay, is both of them
medium.
are medium long? Excellent. Okay, and the rule for that is that you have to prolong it for a minimum of 3 seconds, maximum 5 seconds. Okay, so
Yeah.
remember to prolong this part for a minimum of 3 seconds, and then at the end, okay, as I mentioned earlier, when we have inverted dhamma on top of ha, it will change into sukoon. Okay, so G1050, would you like to have a go by yourself now?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. Sabu anna ma lahu akhladahu.
Okay, akhladah.
Akhladah.
Very good, excellent. Okay, Jazakillah, G1050, you recited really well.
Thank you.
Okay,
Office.
Allah Hafiz. Let's have another student.
Okay. Can I call G1060, please?
G1060, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, let's start with Tawuz.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Kalla
كلا
layumbazanna
لا ينبذن
fil hutamah.
في الحطمة.
Okay, very good. Okay, G1060. And this is just to remind all the students. Okay, we have an alif madda here. That is why we should prolong this part for 2 seconds. And G1050, G1060, do you know what this is?
वो मीम है तो उसको
Yes.
तो यन नहीं कर देंगे उसको युम कर लेंगे instead.
Excellent. Well done. So when we have a miniature meme, a tiny meme on top of noon, we are only going to pronounce the meme instead of the noon. Excellent. Well done. Okay. And then at the end of the word, we have another example of noon ghunna, okay, which came earlier as well. So on top of this, we have to do a 2-second nasal sound. Okay. And then we have a thick letter. Okay. Ta is a thick letter compared to the letter ta. So we have to differentiate between their sound. Okay, so for ta, we have to round our lips and we have to raise the tongue towards the roof of the mouth. Okay, and at the end, the correct way to pause here is that the kasra will change into a sukoon. Okay, so it will become fil hutamah. Okay, G1060, do you want to have a go by yourself now?
Yes, please. كلا لينبذن في الحطمة.
Excellent. Well done. That was very well recited. Jazakallah. G1060.
Nafis.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, can we have the next student?
Can I call G1061, please?
G1061. Assalamu alaikum. G1061.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, G1061. Let's start with A'udhu Billah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Rabbi zidni my Lord, increase me knowledge.
Okay, can you say that again? I couldn't hear you. There was some noise disruption. Just the Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll do this verse now. وَمَا
Waman
أَدْرَاكَ
adraka
مَا الْحُطَمَةُ.
malkutamah.
Okay, very good. So just to remind all the students, again, we have another example of Maddu Saghir, okay, the medium long stretch, which came earlier as well. And we are going to do the same thing. We are going to prolong this for 3 seconds minimum. Okay, then we have a vertical fatha, okay, fatha ishbaya, which we need to prolong for 2 seconds. And then we have a blank letter. Okay, we have 2 blank letters here in the middle of this these words. Okay, and as we learned in the blank letter lesson, when we are reciting in wasl, we drop the blank letters. We just have to imagine that they are not there. So we are going to join the meme straight to the lam sakin. Okay, and it will become malhutamah.
Malkutamah.
Very good. Again, we have ta, which is a thick letter. It came earlier as well. And at the end, we are going to we are going to pause. Okay, and the correct way to pause here would be to change the dhamma into sukoon. Okay, and the ta marbuta will change into ha. Okay, G1061, you want to try by yourself now?
No,
Yes.
I don't want to.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's up to you. If you don't want to, that's fine. Okay, Jazakallah, G1061. You recited really well. Okay, can we have another student?
Can I call G1081, please?
G1081. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Let's start with A'udhu Billah.
A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay. Narullah.
Marullah.
Narullahil muqadah. Okay, very good. G1081. So again, we have an example of alif madda. Okay, that's why we prolong this part of the word for 2 seconds. Okay, then we have a blank letter. And as I mentioned earlier, we drop the blank letters, okay, when reciting in continuation. Okay, and then another blank letter. So we are going to join the ha straight to the lam sakin. Okay, Then we have a vowel of elongation, vowel madda. So we are going to prolong this part of the word for 2 seconds. Okay. Then we have a new thick letter. Okay, it hasn't come before in the surah. Qaf. Okay, so we have to round our lips and raise the back of our tongue towards the roof of our mouth. And at the end, when we pause, the correct way to pause would be to change this ta marbuta into ha sakin.
Okay.
Okay, and also vertical fatha. So we have to prolong this for 2 seconds. G1081, do you want to have a go by yourself?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakallah, G1081. Can we have the next student?
Yes. So can I call G1088, please?
G1088. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Let's start with A'udhu Billah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Okay. Allati
Allati
tattali'u
tattali'u
ala al-af'idah.
alal af'idah.
Okay. Let's do one more verse. Innaha
Innaha
alayhim mu'sadah.
alayhim mu'sadah.
Okay, very good. So just a reminder, okay? So I'm going to highlight all the rules that need to be considered. So first of all, we have a blank alif followed by lam. G1088, do you know what will happen to the alif when it is a blank alif, when it is followed by the letter lam?
Is it a kasra?
Okay, it's not kasra. So whenever alif is followed by the letter lam, it is always going to be fatha.
Okay.
Okay, if the letter is not lam, then we look at the stroke. Okay, and if the stroke is fatha or kasra, then the alif will carry kasra. Okay, so that was the first rule. Secondly, we have ya madda. Okay, and we know that because the previous letter is carrying kasra,
Yeah.
then we have the same thick letter which appeared previously as well, ta. Okay, and then we have a blank letter, 2 blank letters. So we are going to join the lam mutaharrik straight into this lam sakin or lal. Okay.
Alal.
Yes. And then at the end we have ta marbuta. Do you know what would happen to this when we pause? Okay. So when we pause, ta marbuta will change into ha sakin. The stroke will change into sukoon and the ta will change into ha. Okay. Then in the next verse, we have another example of noon ghunna, noon mushaddad. So we have to do a 2-second nasal sound followed by another alif madda. So we have to prolong this for 2 seconds. Okay. And then we have a ya, but this is not ya madda. This is ya lean. Okay. Ya of soft elongation because the previous letter is not carrying kasra. It is carrying fatha. That is how we know this is ya lean. Okay. Then we have mim ghunna. Okay, mim mushaddad. So again, we have to do a 2-second nasal sound. Okay, and then we have hamza carrying the sign of sukoon. So we have to make a soft jerk. Okay, jerking sound here, followed by another thick letter, sod. Okay, compared to the letter sin, sod has a thick sound. So we have to differentiate between the sound of sod and sin. Okay, and then again, ta marbuta will change into ha sakin. Do you want to have a go by yourself? G1088? G1088, are you still there?
Sorry.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, do you want to have a go by yourself?
Okay. Where is it?
Here. Allati.
Okay. Allati ta'tali'u alal afrida innaha alayhim muqsadat
Sadah.
sadah.
Okay, very good. G1's rated. That was really well done. Just make sure here, this part, you went straight from ha to ar. Make sure that it is very clear. Innaha.
Innaha
Alayhim.
alayhim.
Okay. Jazakillah G1088. So let's have one last student for the last verse.
Okay, can I call G1119?
Assalamualaikum.
No,
Walaikum
apologies. That was someone else.
Alright.
Walaikum Assalam. Is this G999?
G1119.
Okay. So we are going to go through the last verse.
Yes.
Let's start with A'udhu Billah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay. There are two IDs unmute right now. This is G999.
Is G1119.
Okay. All right.
G.
Okay, you can just repeat after me. في عمد ممددة.
في أمد ممددة.
Okay, just remember to prolong this part for 2 seconds because of yamadda. And the tanween, we have to join it into the mim mushaddad. Okay, we are applying the rule of partial assimilation here. So we will only take one stroke of the tanween. Okay, and we have to make a 2-second nasal sound on the mim mushaddad. Okay, amadim mumaddadah.
في أمد ممددة.
Okay, and make sure that the sound of ha, we're changing the ta marbuta into ha sakin. So make sure the sound of ha is very clear. Okay, would you like to have a go by yourself now?
في G. في أمد ممددة.
Okay, again, this is not going to be din. Okay, it is going to be dim. Okay. All right, so inshallah, keep
G.
practicing and it will get better. So now it's time to conclude our class. Okay, so the homework for tonight and over the weekend. So tonight, try to practice the miniature noun exercise. Okay, exercise 22.9. We covered it in this lesson as well. You can find it on page 93 of the book Talimul-Quran. Okay, and practice both ways, just the way we did in the lesson. Read in continuation. Okay, and you have to include the miniature noun in the pronunciation. And then read by pausing. Okay, and when we pause, remember we have to ignore the miniature noun. Okay, and we have to apply waqf rules and blank alif rules. Okay, and for Saturday and Sunday, practice Surah Al-Humaza. Okay, the whole chapter. The PDF should have been provided in the parents group. And I would just like to request the parents to lead your children just the way the teacher leads. Okay, so demonstrate the correct way to recite and then ask them to repeat after you, especially if the child is a beginner. So that would be really helpful for the child. Okay, so we are going to end our class with the ending prayer. Can we have a student ID?
Can I call G1052, please?
G1052. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, let's start with A'udhu Billah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Allahumma arhamni
اللهم ارحمني
Bil-Qur'an al-Azim.
بالقرآن العظيم.
And the translation?
O Allah, have mercy on me for the Quran the Great.
Jazakallah, G1052. So with this, we are going to end our today's lesson and see you all next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.